Here we are in Cairo at the American Cemetery, and we found the gravesite of William Whiting Borden. And William Borden was born in 1887. He grew up in a wealthy family in the Chicago area, and then traveled Europe and really around the world in high school, realizing as a Christian that there were many people cut off from the gospel around the world. By the time he got to Yale as a freshman, he already had a burden for reaching the world for Christ. And so he had quite the impact on Yale students. I mean, he and some guys would try to get every single Yale student into a small group Bible study. He started a missions conference and an outreach to the poor and the homeless. And so by the time he graduated from college, he was obviously the leader of the whole Yale Christian movement. One of his sayings was, he said, always say yes to Christ, always say yes. And so he wanted to be a missionary. And so as he was preparing to be a missionary, he moved here to Cairo. He wanted to go after one of the most difficult unreached people groups of all in China, but he needed to learn their language, and it was an Arabic type language. So he moved here to Cairo, and basically in 1913, and he was spending several months learning the Arabic language. But as he was learning it, he contracted an illness and died alone here in a Cairo hospital in 1913. Now, his friends who came over to pack up his stuff and bury him here found his Bible, and his Bible was there next to his bed, and he had some very important things written in his Bible. He had three main phrases here: no reserve, no retreats, and no regrets. And the first one he had written there is no reserve was taken early in his life when he graduated from college, when he was offered a huge salary and job, and he put in the back of his Bible, no reserve, you know. And then later, as he was having opportunities beyond the mission field, and he didn't want to turn back at all, he wanted to keep doing what God has called him to do, he wrote in the back of his Bible, no retreats. And to the astonishment of his friends, as they opened the back of that Bible, the last thing he had scribbled before he died is no regrets. So here was a wealthy, fabulously wealthy millionaire, 26 years old, that had, in a sense, wasted his life, is what people thought. And yet, it was one of the key leaders of the student volunteer movement, William Borden. They would say, remember William Borden. And they would send out thousands and thousands of missionaries, really in his honor, remembering his sacrifice. And so he did not waste his life. He laid down his life for the sake of the gospel, and God has used it now for, well over 100 years as an incredible role model of what it means to have a burden to reach the world and to make any sacrifice to be willing to do that. So today we honor William Whiting Borden right here in Cairo. Thank you so much.